Hi, this is Russell Stannard from teachertrainingvideos.com. Today we're going to look at hybrid teaching, hybrid learning. The idea behind hybrid is that you are doing a lesson where some of your students are watching you via a camera online and some of your students are in the class. So you're kind of dealing with two contexts, two forms of delivery, but in the same lesson. And that's the basic idea of hybrid teaching. Now, what I'm going to try and do today is talk you through a few basic principles to think about and then show you some possible ideas that we could use. Now, I have to say that I haven't got a lot of experience in doing hybrid teaching. It's not really a concept that I've thought of much before, but recently, because of some of the consultancy jobs that I'm doing with universities, I've actually had to work with teachers that are teaching in that kind of way, and we've picked up some nice ideas both from observing lessons and from planning them. So I'm going to do my best today to give you some really practical ideas. Really hope you like the video, and as always, if you do, please like it, please share it with other teachers, please comment on it, and of course come over to teachertrainingvideos.com and sign up to my newsletter or follow me on my YouTube channel, and that way you'll keep up with all the latest videos and blogs, etc. that I write. Let's get started. Hybrid that I've been looking at or working with my teachers has been really where someone's given a lesson, and that lesson is both in class, so there are students actually in the class with the teacher, and then some other students are accessing that content online. Now, normally to do that, that means that the lesson has to be filmed via camera. Now, the challenge often comes is when we set up activities for the students to do. Are the students in the class going to work on an activity? Are the students online? Are they going to work on the same activity? Because obviously perhaps the class activity is with the students in class, the online activity is probably going to be with the students who are working online. So the problem can often be that it's obviously means managing two different activities at the same time, or is there a way of linking these two activities together? What we've been particularly looking at is that when we set up activities for the students to do either in class or online, we actually give them the same activities, and we can actually even mix students from the online and class. And how can we do that? Well, we can do that via using technology. So instead of, say, the students doing an activity in groups in class and the students here doing it online, which is also another possibility, and then the students can report back, so the students online can report to the students in class and the students in class can report to the students online. That's also a possibility, but what I'm going to look at today is the idea that we use technologies that would allow both the students in the class and the students in line to engage in the same activities. So there are certain technologies that can really facilitate this, because we can set the activity up using a technology, and the students in class can access the technology one way, but the students who are working online can also access the technology. Mentimeter is a great example. For the students in class, they can use their telephones and access it via menti.com, and the students online, well, we simply share a link with the students and they can access the same activity via the link. So let's have a quick look at Mentimeter. Mentimeter is interesting because there are lots of activity types that we can do, and the interesting thing about Mentimeter is that it produces both a link, so that the students online, we can share the link with the students online and they can simply click on the link and access whatever activity we've set up. But also the students in the class, if they got their telephones, they can go to something called menti.com, write in a particular number and access the same activity. And therefore we collect together all of the content that the students have created in one place, regardless of whether they're in class or online. And I'm going to show you an example. So in this example, I'm just going to do a quick example to show you what I mean. I'm going to click on New Presentation and we're going to call this Opinions. Okay, and I'll demonstrate how simple this is to do. Let's imagine that we've been doing a lecture, or we've been doing a bit of a lesson, and we want to get some feedback from both the audience in the class and the audience online. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to just call it open-ended. We're just doing an open-ended question. And let's say that we were doing a lecture on hybrid teaching, and I'm going to ask the question, what do you think of hybrid teaching or hybrid learning? Okay, and I'm going to have the answers come as a grid. So I create the question in Mentimeter, and then all I need to do is click on the share button, and this is really where the power begins. For the group in the class, I quickly share that link on Zoom or on Google Meet or on Microsoft Teams, and the students can click on the link and then answer this question. For the students in the class, they just pick up their telephones, they go to mentimeter.com and they write in this code 2705782. It's valid for 2 days. And then they will be able to input their answers, and all of the answers will appear in exactly the same place. Now I'm going to show you an example of somewhere where we've actually used this technique. Here's an example where some students answered via their telephones using mentimeter.com, and other students simply accessed the link. So in other words, very easily I can get both the students in the class to interact with this activity, or I can get the students online to interact with the activity. And if I click on the present button, we'll see a little bit better the types of answers that were coming up onto the screen. So it was simply after a session, I was asking the students, it was a teacher training session about using technology, collecting their ideas onto the screen, but from different sources. And the great thing is, of course, then the teacher can afterwards project this onto the screen so that both the students in the class can see the answers, and perhaps we could have a discussion about the answers afterwards, or of course they can see them via the screen share if they're working on Zoom. So what I like about these hybrid sessions is that we're linking the students together who are working online with those students who are in the class, and therefore we're creating a bit more of a kind of global classroom feeling rather than as if it's two separate classes taking place. The interesting things about working with Mentimeter is just a number of activity types that you can do. So they're called presentations, and each presentation can have 3 activities in each presentation, and you can of course make 2 or 3 presentations for a lecture and vary the type of activities. So let's say we're going to do a warm-up activity 2. Okay, so let's say we've got a lesson, but before the lesson starts we want to kind of create an activity for the students to do, and let's say we want to create some multiple choice questions. So we would click on multiple choice. We can have up to 3 questions, okay, and then we just simply write our question here. So just to show you what I mean, so what is the main use of MF Teams? Okay, and I'm going to click here and write 3 possible answers. So I've just written in my 3 possible answers. So this is a kind of voting game, so the students would vote on which they think is the correct answer, and I could have up to 3 questions, and exactly the same once I've created the questions, and I can display the results in various ways. Once I've done that, all I need to do is click on the share button here and then share with the students online. Just share them that link, share it in Zoom, share it in Microsoft Teams. They click on it, they can answer the question. And for those students who are in the lesson, they pull out their telephones, they go to menti.com, they write in that code, and they will be given exactly the same questions. Suddenly I can collect together both the views of the students in class and the students online. And the nice thing about this is that you've got all these different types of activities, and within each presentation you can have up to 3 question types for free in each presentation. So you might use this tool 2 or 3 times in a lesson, but each time doing a different activity. I hope that was useful. Please come to teachertrainingvideos.com. Lots more free videos. You've got all these different sections here, and I've also put plenty of the latest releases on the front page. If you'd like to keep up with all my blog posts and the online courses and the webinars that we run, as well as all the new videos, then the best thing you can do is sign up to the newsletter. That way you keep up to date with all the latest material. Lots of it is free, and of course the other thing you can do is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click on the bell, and I think we're up to something like 50,000 subscribers now. And then finally, if you are looking for perhaps me to do some tutoring with you, perhaps if you want to learn something like Camtasia, or how to build up your own YouTube channel, or how to work with Moodle, then you can contact me. Doing lots of online courses these days, both with groups but also with individuals. And thank you very much.